Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this week's Sickle Cell Sunday, I'm going to be talking about low hemoglobin. Recently, I have been having low hemoglobin, and that's kind of the reason I haven't been able to put up Sickle Cell Sundays for the past 2 weeks. I think it's been about 2 weeks. So I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to post my Sickle Cell Sundays and film and get you guys the video out in time, but I've been really sick and I've been going through sickle cell crisis. I've been going through this low hemoglobin, and on top of that I have schoolwork, and usually Sundays are when most of my assignments are due, so sometimes I'm running late and I'll work on my assignments and then having to upload and edit. The internet starts slowing down, so if I have to do an online quiz, the internet slows down for me on my part. I've been really overwhelmed with schoolwork. I am taking 16 units, and then I've been overwhelmed with trying to get you guys these Sickle Cell Sundays. It takes a lot of work to film a 10-minute video or a 12-minute video. Usually I end up talking for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I try to narrow it down to no more than 15 minutes or 20 minutes if it's a very important topic. With that being said, I hope you guys aren't too mad that I've missed my Sickle Cell Sundays for the past 2 weeks. So I'm gonna get right into it and start talking about low hemoglobin, which is this week's main topic since I'm battling that right now. Let me begin with what kind of started all of this. So I don't know if you guys remember the video I uploaded on March 27th, which was my Sickle Cell Sunday, my health update. And in that video I discussed how I was feeling very lethargic and how I was feeling very sick and not up to par, So I've been battling that since March 27th, around that week. So essentially my doctor went on maternity leave and didn't return till April 4th. So when it came to April 4th, during that week, I kind of just hit my breaking point, and I told my mom, I'm having so much pain and I'm not having enough energy. There is nothing I can do to get the energy that I need. I was drinking coffee, I was trying to sleep well, and nothing that I did was able to help me feel fine. I just felt horrible and lethargic, and I was just feeling really bad. So I talked to my mom and I was like, hey, I need to get in contact with my doctor. I know she's back this week and we need to email her as soon as possible. I cannot continue going on like this. So my doctor contacted me and she set up the blood test that I need to do, and she told me go to the laboratory, get the labs done. So we then went and got our labs drawn. So on April 8th, my doctor called me back with the hemoglobin results, and she told my mom that my hemoglobin went down to 6.8, and now I haven't had my hemoglobin this low in a very, very long time. I think the lowest I have gone was like maybe a 7.8 to a 8 point something, and that's the lowest I have been in a really long time. And so even with that 7 to 0.8, 8 point something, I always end up needing one blood transfusion because they don't really want me to get too much blood because of the iron overload and other problems. So when she called us, she told me that my hemoglobin was 6.8 and that she was gonna order for me to go in, get my cross and match, which is a little test to, match you up with a donor's blood. That was exactly why I knew I was feeling so horribly. I mean, I just had a feeling that something wasn't normal, and I'm so glad that I went through and I emailed the doctor and I didn't wait, because this could have been a serious situation for a sickle cell patient. So we went and did the blood work. They matched me up with the blood, and we had the blood transfusion on a Sunday. So we drove all the way down to San Diego, and we went to one of the hospitals down in San Diego. So I wanted to quickly define what is a low hemoglobin, or what is hemoglobin. So the hemoglobin is a protein that is found in the red blood cells, and it carries the oxygen throughout your body. So that is kind of how your body gets oxygen. A low hemoglobin can indicate you have anemia or some underlying issue. A low hemoglobin is usually defined as 13.5 grams of hemoglobin per deciliter, and that is for the men. And then in women, it is 12 grams of hemoglobin per deciliter. With children, it kind of varies what doctors consider as a low hemoglobin, and then it varies by age and then sex. But overall, if you're a male, it's 13.5. That should be the normal range, and then in women it's 12. So compare that to my situation, or to a situation of a sickle cell patient. I am, having a 6.8 hemoglobin is really low, and you can only imagine the lack of oxygen throughout the body, the lack of energy. That's why, I was probably feeling so ill, was, my body isn't getting that oxygen in its body, and, it's not being carried in the red blood cells. The causes of a low hemoglobin, in my case, it's the sickle cell, which breaks down the red blood cells a lot faster. But a healthy person, for them, they can get low hemoglobin because of, they could be pregnant. Usually low hemoglobin in a healthy person, entails some sort of like illness. It could be blood loss, it could be periods in girls, iron deficiency, it could be anemia, leukemia. There's different causes of low hemoglobin in different people. In my case, I did get surgery, and maybe that is the reason why I'm having a low hemoglobin, was maybe because I did lose some blood. Some of the causes, it says bleeding from a wound, bleeding from your digestive tract, bleeding from your urinary tract, frequent blood donation. So if you donate blood really frequently, this can attribute to that. And even heavy menstrual bleeding, like I mentioned earlier. You could have a vitamin deficiency, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, multiple myeloma, chronic kidney disease, and aplastic anemia. Those are some of the reasons why you can, get a low hemoglobin. Some of these signs and symptoms of having low hemoglobin, in my case, I really felt those symptoms, and I was able to tell that something was going on. And some of the signs and symptoms are fatigue, weakness, pale skin and gums, shortness of breath, and a fast or irregular heartbeat. And to be honest with you, I was very pale. Right now I have makeup on, so I'm not looking as pale. But still, especially in the mornings, you can really tell how pale I am, or even like yellowy also. And I did feel that irregular heartbeat. I felt like I was just exhausted. I would tell my mom, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Like, I just feel weird. It's such a weird feeling. So I forgot to mention that another symptom of low hemoglobin is lack of concentration. So I did notice I was having a really tough time concentrating, either in class or at home, on doing certain activities, whether it was homework or just trying to do chores around the house or editing. Like, I was having a really tough time like concentrating on getting my things done. It's crazy how your body can alert you that something is wrong, and I'm so glad that I was able to pick up on the signs and do something about it. Most of the time people just wait till it's too late sometimes, and you're gonna put your body in a dangerous situation. So as a sickle cell warrior or a sickle cell patient, I would definitely suggest that if you do have sickle cell, to really pay attention to what your body is telling you, and you'll definitely feel these different symptoms and you know, the weakness, you'll feel totally different. Once you start encountering other symptoms, really listen to what your body is telling you. You know, in this case, it was for me low hemoglobin, but for another sickle cell patient, it could even be like an acute chest syndrome, it could be a sickle cell crisis, you know, different things. So it's important to listen to our bodies and be in tune with what your body is trying to tell you, because I feel like our body, you know, kind of alerts us to what is wrong. Even though I had my transfusion back a while ago, April 10th, I'm still feeling very fatigued, lethargic, and I'm having some pains, some sickle cell pains. I'm trying to hang in there because I do have my appointment this Monday with my doctor, and we'll, you know, discuss any further issues. But I did email her this week, you know, that I'm still not feeling 100, you know, I'm still very tired, fatigued, and I'm still getting pain crises. So my doctor, you know, after telling her all of this, she told me to go do more blood work just to make sure it hasn't dropped any further, and my blood did go up to 9.8, she said, which is better than the 6.2. Usually my blood levels, or my hemoglobin levels actually, are around 9.8 to maybe even like 8.6. Usually that's the range. Anything lower than maybe an 8.5, we start getting concerned. So another thing when you encounter low hemoglobin is try to figure out the main reason, you know, you got low hemoglobin. You know, in our case it's sickle cell, but in, you know, someone else's case, it could be they had surgery or some sort of underlying issue like a cancer or leukemia or some sort of underlying sickness. But the best thing to do in addition to that is have a good healthy diet with iron rich foods, and that'll kind of help you supply your body with iron and even carry some oxygen throughout your body as well. So leafy greens, salads, things that have a lot of iron, even like certain meats. If you are a meat eater, and certain, you know, there's different plates for vegetarians, non-vegetarians, you know, all the different types of food out there that have good amounts of iron. You could also take some sort of folic acid or like iron supplements if your doctor recommends them to you. I know I do take a folic acid and that somewhat helps me, but usually that's like part of my medication routine for me as a sickle cell patient, because I can get low numbers in that area as well. But anyways guys, I think that's all the information I have for you guys today on low hemoglobin. Please let me know if you guys have any further comments or questions that I can answer. I love hearing feedback and comments and chatting with you guys, so please leave me a comment below so I can hear what you guys think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also don't forget to check out my Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. I'll leave them linked below down in the description box, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!